Hello everybody, welcome to another True Review. Today I'm bringing you Bit Dungeon Quest on the Xbox One. It should be available on the marketplace at the time this review goes live, and it's priced at a rather reasonable $7.99 in the US and $4.99 in the UK. So what do we have with this one now? Well, it's kind of a throwback to the old 8-bit dungeon crawlers, which you'd quite happily find on the NES. Plays an unnamed hero who, along with his beloved, has been captured by demons and thrust into this dungeon, which is randomly generated every time you play or progress onto the next level. So viewed from that kind of top-down perspective, you know, the classic old-style NES Zelda games, that kind of perspective. You're simply tasked with finding the boss room for each of the dungeons. Now, because of the random generation, on a few occasions this boss room actually appeared in the starting room that I spawned into, which is a little bit unusual, but you'd be mistaken if you go straight to the boss, because you need to really explore the dungeons to power up and level up your character. So the game works on a very simple basis of you enter a room and that room gets then closed off until you beat all the enemies in the actual room itself. And the combat's a pretty simple affair, though it seems at first, because you've got one button for attack, one button to raise your shield and defend, and one button for magic, and that's pretty much all the controls you actually have. So you beat the enemies in a room, you may get a few chests dropped, and you just simply hover over the chest and it tells you what's in there, and it'll show you the improvements to your various statistics. Now, for a game that's so relatively simple, there's a hell of a lot of statistics going on in this game. I mean, some that you'd find in a very in-depth RPG, because not only you've got your, not bog standard attack, defend, critical damage and critical percentage chance, you've also got run speed, aura, you've got protection against certain different kinds of damage. You've got a multitude of different stats there. And the game does a quite simple job of, when you hover over it, anything that's depicted in green is an improvement, anything that's in red is obviously taking a step backwards in that kind of thing. And so you can quickly choose whether you're going to equip that item or not. So as I say, it all seems pretty straightforward. I mean, as you can see from the gameplay footage, it may look a little bit simplistic and bland, and at first I actually thought that was the case as well. I didn't think much of the game, but the more you get into it, the more you actually appreciate it has got very subtle gameplay elements to it. Because whilst you can effectively charging and hack and slash for the first few dungeons, it quickly becomes apparent that this isn't going to help you out through the later levels. And the way the game's structured is, you find the boss, you kill the boss, you then usually get a pretty decent drop, weapon drop or an armor drop, and you progress to the next stage. But every fifth stage you're posed with a question. You actually encounter your beloved, who you're there tasked to rescue, and she gives you a choice. You can either progress to the final level, or you can say, I'm not powerful enough, and you get thrust into another set of dungeons until you reach her again. Now, mistakenly, my very first playthrough, I got to her and I said, yes, let's go on to the last level, and I didn't get out the first room. You literally have to go back into the dungeon and level up some more, and even some more. So you're looking at about 10-15 levels before you're actually equipped to take on the enemies in the final level. So whilst at first it seems a very, very simplistic process, you have got that balance of deciding whether you're powerful enough or not, or deciding to plow on and risk not getting there to make that choice again. So graphically it's the classic NES look, and it has some really accurate graphics from that era, and the music as well is done really, really well and does replicate that kind of 8-bit beepy console kind of effect that we used to get there, even to some very, very nasty and very offensive on the ears high-pitched tunes that come out every now and then. But that is literally what the old carts used to do, because obviously the sound was one of the very weak elements of the early consoles. And on top of all that as well, if that wasn't enough, you do also get simultaneous local 2-player as well, which does significantly make the game easier, but you have obviously got to share the equipment between the two of you, and it does kind of help as well that the game is only over when both of you fall in combat. And finally, we do have a third mode as well, which I actually quite enjoy. It's called the Tower of Babel mode, and whilst I've not progressed very far on it, it seems to be a quick fire time attack mode where you've got a certain amount of seconds on the clock and you have to pick up additional hourglasses by killing enemies. It's basically the same concept of the main game itself, but if you run out of time, it's obviously an automatic game over. So whilst Bits Dungeon Plus doesn't look that complicated and it can feel a little bit repetitive at times, there's more than enough here for you to get your money's worth out of a title. They have made the wise decision of pricing this spot on, in my opinion, for $4.99 in the UK and $6.99 in the US. They've got the price point exactly right. If they was going over $10 for this or $12, as I've seen many a title to do, I couldn't really recommend that you buy this, and it would be definite wait for a sale. But because they've priced this definitely right, and there is quite a lot of hours of entertainment in this game to be had, especially if you've got a partner to play, local 2-player co-op with as well. It does enhance the game even more. And this is definitely a worthwhile purchase, and I'm going to give Bit Dungeon Plus a 3 out of 5. So I hope you enjoyed that review, guys. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next review.